Hello, my loves. I hope you're doing well. Good morning. Oh gosh, the sun is shining and it's beginning to warm up in Nashville and it feels so good. I want to tell you something, a really important principle in life. Not an easy one, but it's not complicated, but it's really hard. At least it is for me and a lot of other people I know. Maybe it won't be hard for you, but this is a critical part of being happy and living your most self-directed, self-actualized life. And it kind of cannot be overstated how important this is. I've mentioned this before, but it's worth talking about again because I keep having, I keep getting reminders about this lesson over and over again. Basically, here's the lesson. Most of us, just as humans, human nature tells us to view our interactions and our choices with other human beings in an essentially transactional way, meaning if someone's nice to me, I'll be nice to them. If someone treats me with respect, I'll be respectful to them. If someone's mean to me, I'll be mean back to them. If someone's helpful to me, I'll be helpful to them. If they're not helpful, I won't be, and so on. There is an obvious logic to that. And I suppose perhaps, as developing cavemen or primitive humans, I can see why that instinct was probably useful for survival. All right, but it is not the way to reach your highest potential in maybe more enlightened times. And there's a few reasons. First of all, that gives the power in every situation to someone else. We completely surrender power over our lives when we do that. If my decisions are made by the person who is rudest to me or who I dislike the most, I'm not only surrendering my power, I'm surrendering my power to someone who doesn't have my best interests at heart. So we have to be able to say in any situation, this is what I choose to do. I'm choosing to do this because I believe it is the right and moral thing to do. All right? I've had to apply this sometimes in my life, many times, and sometimes in big ways. All right? Sometimes there was someone I saw frequently many years ago who just, I don't think they meant it, but just always really said things that were kind of offensive to me and really left me feeling kind of shaken sometimes, my self-confidence. I decided that I would continue to engage with this person, but I set limits. I didn't set them out of, I wasn't angry. I wasn't that's it. I'm never talking to this person again. I sat down in a calm way and I said, okay, I think it's good that I continue to interact with this person. It's important, but I'm going to set these limits and I'm not going to go beyond these limits with them. But I did that calmly. It wasn't like I was mad and spiting them or saying, I'll show them. Now, same thing happens in regular, smaller interactions in life. One way I have tried to do this, and believe me, I say try, I have not mastered this. I keep trying though. I feel like if I were my most advanced, highest self, I would, for example, no matter how a student acted in class, my response would always be calm and courteous and even loving and gentle, but firm. Now, again, I'm human, so I don't always do that. There's times I wake up and I'm tired or I'm grumpy or someone has just pushed the buttons too much. I'm not saying I would just let people get away with stuff. I'm just saying my response would come from what I genuinely believe is the best response, not just as a reaction. It's just so easy to react to people. But when we react, we're losing our power. And generally speaking, our reactions are not very good usually. Our immediate responses are rarely the thing that we would do if we really had time to think about it. All right? it's interesting if you think about it, like people who have to respond in seconds to like major decisions, doctors, nurses, firefighters, you name it, paramedics, police officers, like they have years and years of training to help them do this, because the reality is that human beings generally don't make good decisions as a response. So decide who you want to be and how you want to be, and then work on that, and don't give yourself exceptions. You don't get to cheat, especially if it's someone who drives you crazy. Now, if you need to reevaluate something, that's completely fine. That's fair. But do it not in the heat of the moment, and don't do it as just a response to someone. You might say, you know what, I don't feel like this is working. I need to reevaluate how I engage with this person. That's totally fair. I need to set this boundary or whatever. But don't do it in response, or you're letting them control you. I hope that makes sense. I love you all, my dears. So much love. Your internet grandpa.